notes. Here we go. Slay King. Here we go. Let's go. Slay the day. Slay the Huskies. Yeah, you guys. Yeah. Nobody loses overtime. Slay. Yeah. Today you want to solve equations, but fortunately for you, this is easy. You already know how to solve all the equations, right? Like in this one, I'm going to start by distributing what? Negative 5. We get negative 5x plus 5. It's equal to 3x plus dos, which is Spanish for 2. Then I combine like terms, Miss Georgetown. What do we got? 2x and negative 5x make? Plus 5 is 3x plus 2. I'm going to get all of the variables on one side. I'm going to subtract that 3x. Negative 6x plus 5 is equal to 2. Subtract 5. And I get negative 6x is equal to negative 3. Divide by negative 6, and I get x is equal to 2. One half, exactly. When people see 3 and 6, they automatically think of two numbers. They think of 2 and they think of 18, right? Because 3 times 6 is 18. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So you get used to numbers in association. So make sure that if you see number on the top, number on the bottom, simplify it correctly. Letter B, I add 6 to both sides. To get 3 halves x is equal to 27. How do I get rid of multiplying by 3 halves? You can multiply by the reciprocal, which is 2/3. And I get x is equal to, what's 27 divided by 3? 9 times 2? 18. So people still ask this question, how am I multiplying those? I always divide by the bottom and multiply by the top. If you want to multiply by the top first, that's fine. But I would rather do 9 times 2 than 54 divided by 3. And that's just me. Either way, I get what? 18. So we see that fraction, but all of a sudden you get these fractions. They become really frustrated, right? So I'm going to show you a way to deal with fractions. For some of you, you remember this. Others, you don't. Please focus and pay attention because we'll use this a lot in class. I'm going to get rid of the fractions. What is the number that 3 and 5 both multiply to? So therefore, I'm going to multiply through by 15. And as I multiply through by 15, I divide by the denominator and multiply by the numerator. So 15 divided by 3 is times 4. So I get 20G. It's like my bank account. You don't think I got 20G in my bank account? No, I do. Thank you. I get big checks every month. Okay, 15 times 12, 180 equals, then I got 15 divided by 5 times 2, 6G. Your bank account. I got the money. All right. Hey, easy now, right? Just one step, just multiply through, get rid of the fractions. That's all you got to do. Now we just subtract the 20G. I got 180 is equal to negative 14G. Divide by negative 14. And looks like those are both divisible by 2. I got negative 90 over 7 I'm going to go with. That's equal to G. How's that? Sure. I prefer that. And I'll say that is more helpful to you moving forward. You didn't like that? When did you do decimal? Like when you got to this spot? Can I teach you something? Watch this, folks. Are you ready? 180 divided by 14. I hit this math button here, and it says convert to fraction. And it converts it to 90 over 7. You like that? Watch this. 0.4166. I got that decimal. Math. Convert to fraction. 5/12. What's up? Slay. Google, like you type, how do I convert into a fraction using my graphic calculator? And it'll just show you. You know what I mean? It's the internet. Internet, Google. Good. We'll teach it to you tomorrow, okay? You'll figure out your sharp class. Okay, let's look at the next one, okay? Got the next one right here. Yeah, I'm recording. They paid good money to hear this lesson. I want to get rid of the fractions. What are you going to multiply through by? 15. Nope. 30 because there's that darn 2 there. Ugh. Okay, but we can do it. So I do 30 divided by 5. So you distribute the 6 through the top. And I get 18x plus a dozen. Minus 10 equals 30 divided by 2 is times 5 is 75x plus 10. So that one step makes it from a challenging problem into an easy problem. Okay, so I got 18 plus 2 equals 75x. Whoop, I forgot an x. That's kind of important. Plus 10. I'm going to subtract my 75x over the other side, and I get negative 57x. Subtract my 2 over the other side, and I get 8. Divide by negative 57. I get x is negative 8/57. Sweet. Who's the guy with all the crazy calculator tricks? I'll teach you how to use your calculator in a short while. How's that? Because there's a lot of things you don't know about that thing, right? I'll teach you. In college, you got to take a course just on graphic calculators. No, I'm kidding. You just learn, figure it out. Okay, zero product property. This is a misunderstood piece of business right here, and I'm going to be pretty transparent about the stuff we do to mess this up. If A times B is equal to 0, then what? You're smart people, let's use some logic. If A times B is 0, then what? Either A or B is 0. Very good. Then A equals 0 or B equals 0. Does everybody agree with that? I mean, 0 is a pretty special number, is it not? I mean, it's one of the great numbers out there. There are some other numbers that are pretty cool. Can everybody give me another number other than 0 is pretty cool? 7? Sure. Pi is really cool. 0, 1, -1, E. In fact, watch this, watch this. Here's something, this would take you to the end of calculus to understand. E to the I pi plus 1 happens to be equal to 0. That's a ridiculous equation. I know, it hurts your brain to even think about it, doesn't it? But that is true. A very smart man by the name of Leonard Euler determined that. And I can show you later. But here's the deal. 0 is a special number. Without it, we would have big struggles in mathematics, right? And there was a time in the world where they didn't know the number 0. They didn't have the concept of it. But we've got it, and we can use it. But you guys make up all sorts of other stuff. Now watch this. Suppose I change this. If A times B is equal to 10, then do we know anything about A or B? Like, does A or B have to be 2 then? No. Does A or B have to be 5? Does either one have to be 10? You can say absolutely nothing about that statement, correct? So don't use 10 on the other side for crying out loud. And I'll show you how this works. Okay, use the zero product property. That means that it has to be written as a product, which means factor. The word factor and product are the same. Factor and multiplication, same thing. So we write it in factored form. X times X, and what? Minus 5 plus 3 is equal to 0. Great, sweet. So this is the A, and this is the b. A times b is equal to 0. Then either a is 0, so x minus 5. Whoop, I don't need no parenthesis. X minus 5 is equal to 0, or x plus 3 is equal to 0. So we solve and we get x is equal to what? 5 and negative 3. Also, look at the degree of the polynomial. What's the degree of the polynomial? So how many solutions should we have? According to the fundamental theorem of algebra, that's what it states. Coolest thing in all of algebra. Fundamental theorem of algebra is chapter 3, my favorite chapter. Look at this one, B. Here, I'm going to do voodoo math. You ready? This is what you say. Oh, it factors. Let's take it out. And now you like assert yourself like, I'm just going to make up a new property. I'm going to make up the 5 product property, which doesn't exist. Does it? But you do it. And you're like, oh, x is 5, and then 6x minus 1 is 5. And then I'm going to add the 1 and divide by the 6. I get x is 1 over there. So 1 and 5, those are my answers. And I mark it wrong. Mr. Gens, but you told me to factor and solve. Oh, I told you to use a 0 product property. You just did the 5 product property, which does not exist. So what should I do to both sides? Yes, thank you. Why? Yeah. You can't think about what a teacher says all the time. You got to think about the goal of the problem. The goal of the problem is to solve by using the 0 product property. So now I'll factor it. Uh-oh, I got 6x and x or 3x and 2x. What do you want to roll with? 6x and x.
1, negative 1.
1 and negative 1. Got to multiply negative 5. Plus 5 and negative 1. Okay, so I got 6x plus 5 is 0. And I've got x minus 1 is 0. So I've got 2 equations I'm solving. So x is 1, and what's the other one? Negative 5 over 6. You good with that? Try C on your own. Go. Factor out my x. What's the degree of my polynomial? 3. So therefore I should have all my solutions. 3. So my first one would be this one. X is 0. My second one would be this one right here, which would be 1/2. My third one would be negative 1/2. Yeah? Hey, I got it. I'll factor out an x. And I'll factor out a 2. I'm going to divide them off. They're gone away. X equals 2. Done. Woo! That's not true. Really? You said x is not 2? You don't know. X is 2, folks. X is 2. Watch. X cubed minus 2x squared minus x plus 2 is equal to 0. What did I do? Get everything on one side. I said x was 2. I think I got a good chance that that's right. However, there's how many solutions? 3. I lost 2 of them. I lost them. They just disappeared because I did voodoo math. I'm going to use now the 0 product property, and that's going to allow me to not lose my solutions. I'm going to factor by grouping. Somebody told me do not put a parenthesis down in front of a subtraction sign. So I'm going to go plus negative. Now I can put a parenthesis down. What can I factor out of the x cubed minus 2x squared? X squared. And when I do, you're left with x minus 2. What can you factor out of the next set? Negative 1. You're left with x minus 2. Great. Factoring by grouping, I found common factor. What common factor do these both now share? X minus 2 times x squared minus 1 is equal to 0. Does that factor? Yeah, x plus 1 and x minus 1. So therefore, you have x is equal to 2 and plus or minus 1. So, anybody accuse me of lying? Chanel apologizes. I accept your apology. Thank you.
Question.
Yo.
Could you let out, when it comes to plus 1 minus 1, could you just let that out? It's just plus 1 minus 1 stuff.
Sure. Yep. Last example, as we say goodbye to our tennis team, good luck, party at my house afterwards. Actually, no, party at the Blast. We're going to go get ice cream. Huh? I get free food. I don't pay for food.
The school pays for it.
I got all sorts of friends working everywhere. You know, that's how it goes.
Again, that's connection.
I got connections. Thank you. Thank you, Kenny. The scream. Go get the scream. Hey, good luck. Hit the ball hard at them so they can't react. Okay? I believe in you, Lily. I know. I still believe in you. Okay, so now we're going to break the rule. We're not going to invoke the zero product property. These are our last two problems of the day. We are going to solve by completing the square. Do you remember how to do that? Sounds like we first need to see what a perfect square is. Okay, x squared minus 6x plus something. What number would go there to complete the square? 9. Because that factors to x minus 3 times x minus 3. See how that is a perfect square? Let's try another one. X squared plus 14x plus, anybody know what goes there? 49. Try another one. Don't answer. Give me like a 3-second pause before we answer. X squared minus 10x plus... Anybody? 25. So how are we getting this number? Very simple. We take the middle number, we'll call it b, and we divide it by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Then you square it to get 9. 14 divided by 2, 7. Squared, 49. 10 divided by 2, 5. Squared. So you take the middle number, you divide it by 2 and square it. That's how you complete the square. Okay, we learned that before, right? You just forgot it? Now it's back at you. So let's do this. We're going to complete the square. We are not using the zero product property. So therefore, we are going to move the 5 over. X squared minus 2x is equal to 5. Again, I'm not using the zero product property. I am completing the square. So I need to add a number here that completes the square. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Squared is 1. So you add a 1 to complete the square. You have to add 1 to the other side as well. What does x squared minus 2x plus 1 factor to? X minus 1, or x minus 1 quantity squared. Agreed? Equals 6. Now I solve for x. In order to solve for x, I got to get rid of this squared bit, and I got to get rid of the minus 1. How do you get rid of the squared? Close. What's on the right side? Oh. How many solutions are there? Plus or minus root of 6. That's when you list plus or minus, when you know you have the two solutions. And now we add 1 over, x is equal to 1 plus or minus the root of 6. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Who invented math anyway? Thank you. Perfect response. Who taught you that? That's like my quote. I wonder if I said it and somebody spat it off back to you. Math was not created, it is discovered. It is an eternal truth. Yes, thank you. Compared to all other subject matter that we just kind of lay our own interpretation upon. But this, we check our egos at the door, because this is unlike any other. Here we go. This one, 2 is not a perfect square. So what do? Divide. Look at that. Wow. Man, you guys are smart. Is all got to go down Miss Hanson's room afterwards and say, thank you for making us so intelligent. X squared plus x minus a half is 0. Now I don't have the 2x squared. I got the 1x squared. 1x squared is good for me because that's a perfect square. But I really don't like the half sitting there. That's got to like move over to the other side. Just like we moved the 5 over, let's move that 1/2 over so I have room to complete my square. Got it? X squared plus x equals 1/2. Okay, don't worry. We've only looked at situations where this number here is even. Now it's odd. 1 divided by 2 is? Half. What's a half squared? A fourth. So I will add a fourth. Right now you're like, oh no, fractions. Okay, be patient. We're in this together. So x plus, what did you, yep, 1/2 squared is equal to, what's a half plus a fourth? 3/4. Shoulders in the way, broad shoulders. Mr. Gans, your broad shoulders are in the way. Thank you. Now what do? Square root. You were allowed to make noises when you were doing mathematics as well. X plus a half is equal to plus or minus. Can you take square root of the top? You just got the root of 3, right? How about the square of the bottom? Square root of 4 is 2. Now I just move the 1/2 over by subtracting a half. So x is equal to negative 1/2 plus or minus the root of 3 over 2. I will accept that as the answer. I will never write that as the answer because they have common denominators, don't they? So I would write x is equal to negative 1 plus or minus the root of 3 all over 2. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.